Coolio. Well, we'll get started here. Femi's on her way. She just sent me a message. She was like, start it up and we'll get it going. So, welcome, welcome, welcome to Separation Saturday. Today is August 2nd. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling something different in the air. I'm feeling like a new energy, a new sense of transition for a lot of people. Everybody that I've talked to in the last week has had these like major epiphanies or like aha moments or just major transition in their life. And I don't know about you, but that's definitely been the case for me. So um, I think it's just overall everybody's coming into like just a new energy, a new wavelength, and like really starting to enjoy some of the things that they've been working on for the last 30, 60, 90 days, year, 6 months. Like some of those things have been working slowly in the background, and now they're like reaping the benefits, reaping the rewards of those actual things. So super proud of you if you guys are experiencing that as well. Hopefully transition and change isn't going to be like scary or what do you call that? The only thing that we're guaranteed in life is change. Like, if we can build a healthy relationship with change and adaptability and learning the skill sets of being able to bend and flex when we need to, I think life gets a lot more simple and it gets a lot more fun. So, with that being said, that has nothing to do with our actual book, but I felt like that's been the general consensus that I've experienced over the last like 2 weeks, I would say in particular, with a lot of the conversations that I've had with some of my friends. So maybe you're experiencing that, maybe you aren't, who knows, but maybe that was for you. So I never like to disregard the messages that I'm getting at that current moment. So if it was for you, it's for you. If it's not, okay, we're here at Separation Saturday, and we're going to be going over chapter 2 of The Feeling is the Secret. And if you guys haven't read this book, highly, highly recommend. It's not even a full book. This actually has multiple books in it. Um, sorry. Whoa, everything's falling apart. We're just going to put this in a different spot. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Camera literally just like fell on the countertop. So let me put that away. Anyways, that you can get the book if you want to, or you can just go ahead and download the PDF or read the actual book on the website. I think Femi dropped the link last week, or you can just Google Neville Goddard's The Feeling is the Secret, and you'll be able to find the PDF version of the actual book, and you can just read it right off the website. It's a very short read, but it is very insightful, impactful, and these little, I don't want to say little, these concepts and these ideas within these chapters, if you choose to actually read it and if you choose to burn this stuff into your subconscious mind, will completely change the way that you operate. And so I, for one, know that this chapter, chapter 2, is probably one of the single greatest, like, single thing that has helped me the most when it comes to the learning process, when it comes to changing what's happening in our subconscious mind. Chapter 2 lays it all out. And so I'm super excited to be able to talk to you guys about chapter 2. What's up, Femi?
Hey, happy Saturday.
Saturday. We got Christopher on the call. I think he's still at work, but he's listening in. So if you see
Thanks.
his face, so it'll be amazing. If we don't, we know you're listening and super proud of you for humping on and learning while you're still making everything else happen. So super proud of you, bro. Um,
Mhm.
I'm gonna take a deep breath because I feel like I've been going a mile a minute, but fill us in, Femi. I know you're running from another call, so take a deep breath. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it literally has been a on the go day, but in a great way. So much value, and just seeing the fruits of like what you've been doing and how you've been moving
Shut
and
up.
what you've been thinking.
Because I said
Yeah,
that. The opening part of this, I just said that exact stuff.
we're always in sync. I'm never surprised.
Not even
Without even trying or planning anything.
blood
Everything works in our favor. But
always.
yeah, it really has been a really big day. Yeah, I left the call. It's still going on. Thank goodness they're gonna send me the recording because I was like, hey, you guys, I didn't expect it to be like 2 hours long. Um, but I'm grateful for sure. Today has been busy and going, and I'm so excited. A lot of things have been happening, success stories, reaching new goals. I hit a goal that I've been waiting on.
You hit
And
it.
it, yeah, like unexpectedly. Like, you know how like it's like I know it's coming. It's okay. Just keep your head down. And on the call, it happened. And I was like, and somebody texted me and I was just like, wait, what? And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. Like, of
You're like,
course.
let's freaking go. Congratulations.
Yeah. So thank you. So yeah, it's just been good though. But I'm excited because I feel like this month is gonna be it really is abundant for August for sure.
Feels
I
so
think this
different.
yeah, I really believe that this is the month that is going to not kind of, it's going to show um like all the reasons why you stayed down, all the reasons why you were consistent, why you were quiet, why you were doing the thing, why you went through what you went through. I'm really excited. I'm really excited. So much happening, business, personal life, but it's all like for the best of it. And then in that, still finding time to be in harmony with yourself and breathe, like, like we just did.
Yeah.
Like we were both like, yeah, that because I needed that, you know. But yeah, but Saturday has been awesome. So right on the go, right after this call.
Right on the go. I'm loving it. I think I had a really good Saturday morning. Like I woke up, I think at like 3:30 and I worked for like 2 hours because it was just like, that's what I'm gonna do. And then went back to sleep. And then I got back up, did a little bit more work, got a lot done with my two YouTube channels, and then was able to just like chill out, hang out, and then celebrate my brother's birthday. So we went out to lunch. Uh,
Amazing. Happy birthday to him.
I'll tell him. He's like so not the type to celebrate, and I'm like, we're doing lunch, we're doing something else, get you cake, because like his birthday's not till the 4th, and so he's got that weird birthday on a Monday, and so we're like, let's celebrate today, let's celebrate tomorrow, let's celebrate Monday. Like,
Yes, let's get it in the yeah, in the flow.
so he's got a few days of celebration to go. So my mom's at the freaking mall right now. I'm at the mall too. Capital One has these super cool little like nooks that you can,
Yeah, I love it so much. I wish they had more in Florida. They
yeah,
literally only have one in between like all the major cities, and I'm like, we need like five.
and that perfect timing. The guy was done, and then I got in, and I was like, this is amazing. Everything works.
Perfect.
So
Amen.
this was perfect. But yeah, this chapter, oh my goodness. Chapter 2. I know we went over chapter 1 last week. And if you guys haven't read the book or haven't read the PDF, it's super short. Chapter 1 was law and its operations. And so we learned about the knowledge of the law of consciousness and the methods of operating this law and how it actually like functions from the subconscious mind to the conscious mind. And chapter 2 is called Sleep,
Sweet.
and it's all talking about the subconscious mind. And if there's anything that I've learned over the years, if we can get nothing changes in our conscious mind. Our conscious mind literally is the thing that literally just stops all of our imagination because it can rationalize. but our subconscious mind cannot reject or approve an idea. It can only be impressed upon. And so it doesn't have the ability to, it can't take a joke. So it takes everything literally. It takes everything as it is, and it cannot reject an idea. And so whatever you program your mind with, you ever program your subconscious mind with, it's going to retain that information. Doesn't matter if your conscious mind can rationally think between the two or make a decision. Our subconscious mind is what dictates our life. And by the time you're in your 20s, this is why people say like you're just running on autopilot. And it's crazy because like 95% of our thought process is on autopilot. And so
Mm,
thinking is actually one of the hardest things for people to do.
no, for real.
It takes a lot of energy. And we have to learn to become professionals at sleeping. Like, think of yourself as a professional sleeper. If you aren't a professional in anything, which is not true, everybody on these calls is a professional in everything they do because this is for top performers. This is for the 1% of the people that actually believe that they're elite in their mindset, in their work, in their business, in their personal life. Like, they take things seriously. So, props to you for being on this call because that's you. But when we're talking about the the subconscious mind, like sorry, when we're talking about kind of lost my train of thought. But
Happens.
yeah, it wasn't meant to be said. That's all I have to say about that. Anytime that happens, I'm like, well, that wasn't meant to be said because if it was, I would remember it. Uh, so I'm going to deviate from that. But the concept of being a professional sleeper, like everybody here needs to be taking their sleep so seriously. Like I just got a Whoop band so that I can become a lot better at tracking data when it comes to like my sleep, stress management, and really being able to optimize for sleep because that's actually the thing that we spend 1/3 of our life sleeping. Shouldn't we optimize for 1/3 of our life? Like, duh. Um, and I don't know if Emmy, if you've got any ideas on just the concept of sleep and how important it is for your girls, for you, for resting, for recovering. Fill us in on a little bit on like how it is you build sleep habits into your routine. Even just a little preface on before we don't jump right into the book itself.
Yeah. So agreed with everything that you said for sure. Can you hear me? Hopefully it's not too loud.
Oh, you're good.
Okay, perfect. Because they decided to crank up the music. Um, but no, I definitely agree. Especially too, like you said, like by the time we're 20, you have like a set way of our patterns, our sleep, and what we're doing. And I love what you said because the conscious doesn't change, but the power is within the subconscious. Once you master the subconscious, you master how to live within that, operate within that, the consciousness starts to change.
Yep.
And with, you know, with chapter two, I think it's just so good because it's such perspective. I remember when I first read that, I was like, I looked at sleep completely differently. I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't value sleep. I didn't know how important it was until I was reading and I got that perspective. And this is why reading these books and having this information is so important because it literally can take you to the next level just having the right thought planted in your subconscious. But
Hmm.
with this, the thing that I got from it is, sleep is the gateway to the subconscious. Especially like the state right before you sleep is really powerful. Um, and these are usually the times where we impress and we should impress deeply. This is where we should um, be immersed in our goals and our lifestyle, in the things that we want to do, in the ideas that we have, whether we know how it's going to happen or not. Remember, it's never about the how. It's just about the I'm doing it and letting it happen, letting everything else comes, you know? But being able to just have that habit of like falling asleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, in that feeling, in who you want to be, in the life that you want to have. And, honestly, with yay, my laptop turned back on. Okay, I'm switching to my laptop. But literally like even with that, let's be real, you guys, we're adults, life happens, and sleep doesn't happen the way that we want to. So
Mhm.
it's like, what do you do then? Right? Because you will have seasons where your sleep is regulating about 4 hours. And that's just what it is. And you have to deal with your life, your season, the circumstances that you're having going on. But even in that, it can be intentional. And personally, me, I had to like do that, and I had to understand that, yo, even if I am getting a certain amount of sleep, now that I know the power of sleep and the state before I go to sleep, I can program. I can program. I could shift my life. I can change and plant good seeds in my subconscious. And that way, then what happens? It becomes a habit, you guys. It becomes a habit of catching your conscious thoughts, replacing still, the limiting beliefs and the doubts and the things that creep in here and there. But it's about knowing and then applying it. And honestly, it doesn't matter if you have this information if you're not going to consistently work on it.
Mm.
That's really the thing, because I didn't really see the change until I implemented what I read, and I read this book a few times. After the first time you read, it's just you're reading to collect the data, and then you read it again to now really understand it in a way like I can do this for me, or I can, you know what I mean, like I can apply this way, or just kind of catch what you need to. And when I started doing that, that's when I really saw the difference.
Oops. There we go. We got Femi back on her laptop. I really liked what you had said because you said you read it once and then you read it a second time. How many times did you guys actually read a book or read a thing in high school more than once? I know for sure I did not. I barely read the things the first time. And so to be able to use these kind of information, guys, the reason that you only learn things two ways: emotional impact or repetition. So when it comes to learning about the subconscious mind, there are certain things that I've learned through repetition, and there are certain things that I have learned from major emotional impact. And those are the only two ways that I've actually learned them. School doesn't teach us that. School teaches us how to read and regurgitate. And so we have to unlearn that philosophy on learning in order to actually get these two pieces of information. So I really love that you even said that. I don't know if you caught yourself saying that, but I was like, that's a gem. Like reading it once just for the data and then reading it twice for the understanding and reading it a third time and a fourth time and a fifth time. Guys, read it until you know it. Read it until you can't unlearn it.
Mhm. Exactly. Until it becomes subconsciously competent, right? And it falls into the levels of learning, the things
Mhm.
that Grace and I are always talking about. And this is how you are able to now start having successful habits automatically,
Mhm.
just automatically. And then that way now your life is like delegated on its own. It doesn't, you don't have to put an effort to read a book. It's not an effort to listen to audio. Like your body and spirit and mind knows like, okay, this is what we're doing, this is what we need to do. It's regulatory. It just becomes part of your system.
Your auto
Yeah.
your autopilot becomes all of the good habits.
And that should be the goal for everyone. That's still the goal for Grace and I. That's why
Yep.
we do these calls. That's why we do the things that we do, no matter the trials, tribulations, what's happening because I was listening to one of the calls that actually the call I was just on, and this is someone that is, making about 100K a month, right? When you're at that level and it's not and focus, because it's not about like the money that he's making, it's about the mindset and the subconsciousness that he has. Because you have to become to even attract to even have that monetary aspect. But he was saying um with like your mind with your mindset and as far as it being something that is automatic, and he was saying that a lot of people, and kind of what you said about it's hard to think, and he's just like the biggest thing is people don't self-reflect.
Mm.
It's receiving data, seeing things and saying, oh, this person needed to hear that, oh, that person needed to hear that. Like you make it a regular thing to not self-reflect and not think about your subconscious and what you're doing. And and literally simple things like what we're saying now is what people like him that are making that much a month are saying. He mastered that, and he still does it. He still seeks a way to automatically have those successful habits and having a system like understanding sleep. Like, honestly, you guys, when you understand the sleep hack, that rest is health and wealth, it's a game changer. Because I personally come from grinding, grinding, grinding. And if I don't grind, then I have nothing to show for it. If I don't grind, I'm not going to have results. No, if you don't sleep, you're not going to have results. And a lot of people might not understand that because, we hear, I'll sleep when I die and whatnot. And it the mindset of being aggressive and adamant about your success is real. But I believe that people confuse that with urgency. You need to have urgency. You need to have consistency. And honestly, confidence comes from not leaving anything on the table, meaning you did everything you said that you were going to do when you said you were going to do it, and you didn't BS. You didn't just show up around people and look like you're doing the thing. No, when people are not looking, you're doing the thing. When people show up or not show up, you do the thing, right? And these are all the aspects that tie into your subconscious and how you move and how things become automatic. And it's so good. It's so good.
I
I
love
could go on forever.
it. There's a part in this in the first couple pages, first two pages. Um, it says, because all things come from within yourself, and your concept of yourself determines that which comes, you should always feel the wish fulfilled before you drop off to sleep. I love the way that
Mhm.
it feels like you drop off to sleep. Like kind of just like dip into sleep. Like and we have to get so good at programming our mind right before we go to sleep. I don't know about you guys, but I personally fall asleep to Joe Dispenza pretty much every night. Like I put on one of his Joe Dispenza meditations or 8 hour video or something to that effect because I know even though I'm not consciously aware of the information, subconsciously I'm being impressed upon by the information that I hear. And so being able to put an environment to where I can hear things, and I used to do this with trading stuff. I used to do this with school stuff to where I would just put the audios on and learn the stuff while I was asleep because it's a freaking hack. It is a learning hack. If you're trying to learn anything, you can put it on, fall asleep to it, and subconsciously that information is being impressed upon your subconscious mind because your conscious mind can't reject or accept
Everything.
it. It's just going straight through. Um, and so that's really important is the way in which you feel right before you go to bed. And whether you had a really good day or a really crappy day, you have the choice to be able to stop the there's a guy, his name is Brian Johnson, and he has a lot of like things that I'm just like, those are some crazy ideas. He wants to like live forever. It's mind-blowing to me. But like he's got this like concept where he has these three people. One is himself, one is his anxious self, and one is like the angry or something along those lines. Either way, it made a cool picture to where like you lay down to bed and you start having these anxious thoughts. You're like, oh, I didn't do this. Oh, I talked this way to this person. He calls that his anxious Brian. He's just like, oh, that's just anxious me. And anxious me, thank you for protecting me, but also I'm going to bed so we can save that for another day. And it allows him to talk to himself in like a third person, like, thank you for protecting me, because anxiety is nothing more than it's wanting to protect us, but it's also stopping you from going to sleep. And it's blocking your ability to rest and recharge and actually have good sleep. Um, and then like, so whatever the thing is that like is blocking you from going to sleep, whether it was a bad day or a bad moment, you have the choice to be able to put it on the shelf and go to sleep. Put the fire on the shelf. If you're in entrepreneurship, or if you're building anything, if you have a job of any sorts, there's stuff that goes wrong all the time. You also don't have to carry that into your sleep. You can protect your sleep from whatever the world happened, whatever was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I love that. And he says that too. Disregard appearance and feel the things as you wish them to be. So it doesn't matter what type of day you had, like you said, bad, good, indifferent, whatever the case is, your subconscious will faithfully embody your belief. That's what it says in that chapter too. 100%.
let's see. This is cool. It says, once asleep, man has no freedom of choice. His entire slumber is dominated by his last waking concept of himself.
Yes.
That's wild.
Yes. And it says that too. Within that same chapter, it says that man impresses the subconscious with the conception of himself. And you guys, and it's such alignment. Because literally, I literally heard this before this call, and he was saying that you attract how you portray yourself.
Mhm.
So even awake and asleep, you're doing the same exact thing. And it's like, if we know this, how can we utilize this to become, to not stay in the same place, to not let the anxious thoughts dominate, to not let, all of those things that, like you said, it it's a defense mechanism. It's a process that was created so you can process, right?
Mm,
Um, and it even says too, like the creative process is first imagining and then believing the state imagined. And always imagine, expect the best.
that part. Expect the best. I'm with my family right now, and everything I've learned this a lot simply being with them for the last couple of weeks. Um, I believe that I will always get a front row parking spot. My brother believes that that's not possible. And it's just a fundamental belief. He's like, that never happens. I'm like, it never happens for you. I get it all the time. And so he has this literal, like, he has a parking spot at every place we've ever gone to that he knows that nobody is ever in it. So he goes autopilot to the place that he already predetermined was there, and it's the furthest thing from the door as possible. And I am like, I am not walking that far for this. And then, because I have the fundamental belief that I find I find the best parking spot at every place I go to. And it's something so simple, but it is something, it's literally just a belief.
So good.
And we can
It's
really only
so
do
good.
stuff when you're around people that you haven't been around in a minute since you've changed a belief pattern. Like once you've changed a belief and then you go back into the same environment and it's different, you're like, hold up. Because when I'm with Femi,
Yeah.
like we get the best parking spots. Like it's not even a question. When I'm with my family, they don't believe that the best parking spot exists. So like we're gonna have different experiences with that process.
No, it's really real though. And I think what's dope is that you get to show people how that works. And it's like, this is not a magic trick. This is real life. This is your mind. This is your system. And I also too love in the book where it says that the world cannot change unless you change your conception of
Mhm.
it. And that means even simple things like that. Until you start believing that you get the best of the best of it, this will happen for you, you are gonna live and believe the opposite. Always.
Yep.
Or whatever's left or whatever it is that you get, kind of leaving it up to the world for it to happen. Like, no, no, not at all. But I definitely agree. It is a belief. And there was this one part in the chapter that I'm looking for. Oh, I found it. It was saying that the acceptance of the end automatically wills the means of realization.
Mm.
Make no mistake about this. And I mean, I would want to read that whole paragraph, but that alone, right there, the acceptance of the end automatically wills the means of realization.
That's
So the
cool.
moment you accept it, you realize it. Like the awareness happens, like it's there. And it's also to the opposite. I feel like the moment that you decide to not accept, you decide to have resistance, you decide to put up a barrier, or you decide the way that you used to think or still do think, which is not serving you, but you allow it to dictate how you move and what you think. And you guys, if they're telling you this about sleep, in your sleep, what do you think you can do when you're wide awake? The
Uh,
power that you have. But I really believe that sleep and the subconscious mind and understanding this to program yourself
mhm.
is even, I wouldn't say, what would be the word? Honestly, it makes it easier. It makes it easier for you to actually program the life the way that you want. And it even tells you right here, and whilst asleep, you will be instructed in the manner in which they will be expressed tomorrow. You will rise believing that you are a free agent, not realizing that every action and event of the day is predetermined by your concept of self as you fell asleep.
That's so good because that's what I did this today. I was like, we're gonna be out and about doing different things. I'm with my family and I'm like, how can I predetermine moments that are already gonna happen and have my family around me to witness those moments? Because we think very differently. Nothing's right or wrong, it's just we think differently. And so if they can be around and see that stuff happen, I'm like, what would that do for their belief? Um, and so I actively was already like predetermined, this is why I got this room. This is why everything has worked in my favor today. Because
Amen.
I think
That's so good.
what's cool was one of the parts where it was talking about, and I've heard this in a different way in a different book or something, but this one says, whatever the mind of man can imagine, man can realize. And there's a book, it's like, whatever the mind of man can conceive, he can bring about and believe, or whatever the mind of man can believe, he can conceive. But whatever the mind of man can imagine, man can realize all objective states were first subjective, meaning all visible things were first invisible. And you called them into visible by assuming the feeling of their reality. The fact that we can talk on a Zoom call, the fact that the phone exists, somebody had to really believe that we could talk through frequencies on a freaking phone. Like, it blows
So
my
good.
mind that that person was probably looked at like he was absolutely crazy. This is a Graham Bell. Like, I'm sure they were like, "You good, bro?" Like, and he just had the like the belief that this would work. There's a bug driving me nuts. Okay. Um,
Yeah. Wow.
if you go and study like how Dubai got built, wow, talk about the image in the guy's mind before the city was built and how fast it came to be about. Like how fast it came. He brought the visible from the invisible.
Say that again.
Bringing the visible from the invisible. It's bringing everything from somebody's mind into the reality. That's why architecture is so cool, because that was in somebody's mind. That's why technology is really cool, because it was in somebody's mind. These are creative things, creative processes that somebody had to think about. Um, but yeah, just a heads up, I have 8 minutes before I get kicked out of this room, so we need to wrap up.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Honestly, this chapter two can it's within itself can be twofold, okay. But I 100% agree, and it even goes into the rest of that, how you're free to choose how to feel and react to the day and to the things, actions, events, circumstances, because they were already determined. Now
Mm,
you have control of how you determine. You can predetermine, like what you said, every action, everything that you created today, because you wanted your family to see. And it's just an active willingness of understanding this information and say, you know what, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it so I could properly and purposely define the attitude of my mind before I go to sleep. So I can see this all tomorrow, the next day, and the next day until it is a habit. Yeah.
one of the things that this says is the part you play on the world stage is determined by your concept of yourself.
Yes.
You think very little of yourself, so does the world. If you think very highly of yourself, so does the world. Because the concept of yourself. And it does, what's crazy is like, it doesn't matter profession, it doesn't matter behave. It's the concept of yourself because you think highly and respect yourself. And we get respect from ourselves when we do what we say we're going to do, when we say we are going to do them, and we show up how we said we were going to show up. The self-integrity,
Mhm.
the self-integrity, like if you guys want confidence, show up for
That's where it
yourself.
comes from.
Show up for you.
Exactly.
Like you can show up for other people, but if you never show up for you, it's going to start to wear at your integrity.
Mm. Yeah, and that's a way that you don't want to, because you're just creating spiritual debt. And
Mhm.
we always have to pay spiritual debt before we get to the next level. And again, it doesn't matter what your profession is, what you want to do, understanding these concepts, it's literally the law of the mind. It's literally it's there, whether you want to believe it or not. And I love the end of this chapter because it says what you take in as a feeling, you bring out as a condition, action, or object in space.
Sheesh.
So sleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled so you can take out what you want. Think about that. We're so blessed and we're literally God's highest form of creation that we can take a feeling and put it into an action, put it into an object, put it out and make it visible.
It's so good. Man, that was so good.
Really.
I want to hear from Chris if you've got anything from this week, any big wins, any small wins, any updates. Let's hear it.
So I got licensed on Monday.
Let's freaking
And
go. Congratulations.
last thank you. Last night I submitted my paperwork to the state, and it was asking for my employment, and I've had so many different jobs, and then Steve told me it's not like the state's gonna call each of your jobs and be like, hey, are these dates right? No, they're gonna look at it, say, seems likely, and stamp it.
Seems likely.
And so I'm like, all right, cool. And yeah, so that was fun. Yeah, but that's really it. My client that was gonna do the 500,000 rollover, um, she is well, no, I'm me and her are having a hard time connecting. Um, so I'm just waiting for that, waiting for things to level out. I have some business cards coming in the next few days. I ordered like 500 of them.
That's dope.
Awesome. Congratulations. Yeah, put yourself out there, go to events, introduce yourself, and just build relationships. That's it. Build relationships.
I'm gonna challenge you, Chris. How
Okay.
how long do you want it to be hard?
Mm,
Because you can change that concept real quick. So
that's good.
you can think about that one. But how long do you want it to be hard?
Make it easy.
How can it
Make
be?
it smooth.
These are the questions that I would ask myself. How can I make this easier? What would be the easiest viable option? Um, how can I make it easier for her? Something to that effect. That's one of my single greatest questions is how can I make this easy? Because there's a lot of hard stuff.
Oh yeah,
I don't need more hard stuff. I want easy stuff.
that's good.
Stuff that's impactful. So
That's
it's like,
Indeed.
powerful.
how can I make this easy? Um,
I
but yeah,
love that. Well, I know your thing's about to be up. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for everyone who showed up for themselves today, to work on your mind, even in the midst of life, because everyone always has something going on. And I want to pass this on to whoever you can this week. Don't accept other people's excuses because you give them the best version of you. You deserve the best version of them. Don't let people give you the watered down version of them. Challenge them. And we just saw a great example, right? And that's someone that cares about you because they know that you're meant for greatness. They know that you're meant to do more. And just keep that in mind and go with that through the week because I heard that this weekend and it really hit me. And I'm like, you're right. I'm always showing up as the best version of me. So why should I let you not do that? And people will always have excuses. People don't make it because of legitimate excuses. So why not why not challenge people? Help them be the best version of them. But I love you. Be great. Have an amazing Saturday, you guys. We will see you guys back next week. Bring someone, share this with a friend. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. We appreciate it. And thank you for working on your mind. Grace?
yep.
Love you,
Everything
girl.
echoed everything you said. Super grateful for you guys. Chris, really proud of you. You just ever since we met, just the relentless pursuit of excellence is so real. And to see you do some of the things that you've done in the last couple months is because of the work that you've put in your mind, mentally, physically, emotionally, dealing with all the challenges that you've had to overcome. Absolutely insane. So super proud of you. And if nobody said that, I just wanted you to be able to hear that from somebody. Um,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
for sure. But we'll see you guys on the next Separation Saturday, and can't wait to read chapter 3 with you guys. And remember, we're reading the chapters, one chapter a day for the next 30 days. So I'm committed to doing that. If anybody wants to join me, feel free to do so. We'll just be reading one chapter a day, every day for the next 30 days of August.
Love that. Let's go.
All right. Be great, guys.